have a saying that I don't want to treat her like the old wife. I aspire to treat her like the new girlfriend, right? And the old wife, treating her like the old wife is kind of like being complacent. Well, I already got her. She ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? She understands my value. She know what I do. She know what I bring to the table. She ain't going nowhere. That's complacency, G. I'm talking to all the fellas out here. You can't treat your lady like the old wife. You got to treat her like the new girlfriend. Because guess what? The new girlfriend, you going the extra mile for. The new girlfriend, you putting your best foot forward. The new girlfriend, you looking good every time you pull up. You're smelling good, right? You should be, in fact, this should be cardinal rule. You should smell good enough to eat every day.
Oh,
you should
Lord.
Smell good enough to eat.
You are showing out.
Every day. You dig what I'm saying? Because guess what?
You're listening to For Real Though, hottest new podcast in the street.
Can't go wrong with you, dig?
With your host Jimmy Rills and co-host Queen Nesha. Tap in now. Nah, for real though.
Alright, what up? Welcome to For Real Though. It's your boy Jimmy Rills, Mr. King Energy himself. We got Queen Nesha in the building.
What's up, guys?
And today we got a really hot topic for you guys, okay? We talking about Pushin P, alright?
Oh.
In a relationship, though.
What you talking about, Willis?
That's the problem. I got no quiet, no privacy, no place to go and think deep thoughts.
Hey, take your dumb pictures. I got something better to do. I got a date on the moon with Lois Lane.
You know what? Fine. Go ahead and take your dumb pictures. I got better stuff to do anyway. I got a date on the moon with Lois Lane. Whoosh. Whoosh. Whoosh.
You bet. Before we get into it real quick, I need you guys to do me a favor. I need you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Smash that like button, comment on this video, share this video, and tap that bell icon for notifications. So that way every time we drop a new video, you get notified. Now, this topic, Pushin P, right? The question is, should you be pushing P, or is it okay to push P in a relationship? And I want to swing it to you to kick it off.
How can you, what is that? What's your definition of pushing P in a relationship?
What does pushing P mean to you?
Pushing P means keep it player. Like,
right.
You know?
So this is my thing, right? And I kind of came up with this topic because I feel like, first of all, we got to define pushing P, right? And everybody might define it a little bit differently. How I define pushing P, it ain't necessarily anything that has to do with, for me, with being disrespectful to my lady or disrespecting my commitment in my relationship in any type of way, right? To me, it definitely represents, pushing player, keeping it P. You dig what I'm saying? But I feel like a lot of times we get laxed in the relationship. We get too comfortable in the relationship, right? Oh. So we pushing P in the beginning to do whatever it takes to pursue and court and get the woman that we want, right? So we're romantic, we're super smooth, you know what I mean? We slide in front of her, we see her walking, hey, what's happening? What's your name? You introduce yourself, whatever your line or whatever your game is. Me personally, I don't necessarily believe in game. I just believe in having a casual conversation. Just be authentic and be genuinely you. But be smooth though, you know what I mean? I'm not saying be no cornball, you definitely gotta be smooth. Whole point is, to me, pushing P represents just being smooth, being charismatic, being romantic, doing all the things that you did in the beginning of the relationship to get your woman. Now that you got her, you gotta keep that up. You gotta keep doing that to keep her. And I don't believe it's one-sided. I do believe women can push P in a relationship as well. All the things, ladies, that you had to do to get your man to make yourself available for that man. All the things that you did to woo him in the beginning, you got to keep that up, right? So me personally, I believe that relationships are super easy to get into, but super hard and difficult to sustain, right? So you get a lot of people in relationships, and in the beginning is great, right? You in cloud nine, you in the honeymoon phase, everything's going smooth. And then, life starts to happen. You guys start to have disagreements. And somewhere along the way, we get complacent. We get super tunnel focused on our hustle, our grind, our work, or whatever it is that we got going on. The kids, if you guys have kids, the monotonous daily routine, we all are victim to it. It happens to the best of us. But somewhere along the way, I think it's important that we remind ourselves that, hey, the grass is not greener on the other side, it's greener where you water it, right? So you got to be very intentional and you got to put that work in. So I'm gonna swing the question back to you. Talk to me about some of the things talk to me about your perspective on pushing P in a relationship. I got my nose running?
Yeah, a little bit right
Okay.
there.
I was outside shoveling snow earlier.
Get that right there.
I was shoveling snow earlier. We live in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We had a storm come through here. And that's P. You dig what I'm saying? That's pushing P. Because in my relationship, I have to remind myself daily that I'm here to serve. You dig what I'm saying? I'm a servant, and ultimately in the end, if I serve, then I'll be served. That's just what I choose to believe, right? So I was out working hard, shoveling up this snow. You dig what I'm saying? Pushing P. But talk to me.
So pushing P. So really, your definition of pushing P in a relationship is you're not allowing yourself to get comfortable.
Facts.
You're being intentional about keeping things lit, keeping things spicy.
Right.
So, I believe in that. I think that's true. I think that it's not a gender type of thing. I think as human beings, when we get in a relationship, we especially when we get some time in there, you get some time with your dude, you start doing things, or you kind of let things slip that you didn't do before, or things that you used to do, you just all of a sudden don't do anymore. But I think that in order to keep pushing P in your relationship, you have to be willing and know yourself and push P individually in order to give that energy off in your relationship.
I feel that. Explain though. Expound on that a little bit, pushing P individually.
Like, I believe in, especially for ladies out there, it's important for men too, but especially for the females, for the women, women, we can sometimes get wrapped up in our partner and supporting our partner, especially if we have children, we live together, we can get really caught up in cultivating our home, building our home, making our house a home. So it's important that we maintain pushing P ourselves,
Sure.
Make sure you do stuff that you love. Make sure that you look good for yourself. He's like the bonus, it's just the bonus that he gets to entice and everything, but look good. If you love makeup, wear makeup. If you love to get your nails done, get your nails done. It's important that we don't lose sight of those things. But if we take care of ourselves, like, it's easier to push P in a relationship.
I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I 100% agree with pushing P individually, right? So for the fellas, I got a couple of things that I rely on heavily, right? And I believe it'll be helpful to relationships everywhere, right? First of all, we have to, I think accountability is important, right? Sometimes it's difficult for a guy to check a woman, because anytime that we quote unquote check a woman, then we're perceived as misogynistic, right? Or anti-woman, right? And I know a lot of us get caught up on the play of words when I say check. That makes some people like, what you mean?
Well, I was thinking that, like, well, what do you?
I knew it.
Where are you
Because
going?
this one right
with
here
this?
get
Like,
caught up on words. She gets caught up on the wordplay,
like,
so I'm about to break it down.
Say what you mean and mean what you say. I'm just saying.
Okay,
like,
so peep game, right? So check is really just a form of correction. You dig what I'm saying? It's a glass half empty versus glass half full type of thing. It's about perspective. It's about the way you look at it.
What?
So if I'm checking you, right?
What?
That's really just a form of correction. I check you, you check me. But I believe my point, it's important for accountability purposes that men check other men to hold them accountable, and women check other women to hold them accountable, right? That's kind of where I'm going with it.
I can see that. It's just that word.
I know it.
That using that word, like check, like.
But it's really for accountability, right? So what I'm getting at is, I actually had some OGs talk to me, you know what I mean? And tell me like, listen, bro, I know you out here on your grind. I know you're trying to get this money. I know you're trying to feed your family. I know your family is your why. I know you're trying to get it. But time is the most valuable commodity there is, right? Money, you can make money, you can lose money, you can always get it back. Time, you lose time, you can't get that back, G. So somewhere along the way, you have to prioritize your family. And that time, you have to prioritize your lady. And that time, you have to prioritize your relationship. You can't bore your lady to death. You dig what I'm saying? You still got to court your lady. You still got to take her out on dates, right? And we are married. We've been married. We've been together for 17 years, 18 years, 17 years, 18 years.
18 years.
Been together 18 years. We've been married for 13 years, right? And I have a saying that I don't want to treat her like the old wife. I aspire to treat her like the new girlfriend, right? And the old wife, treating her like the old wife is kind of like being complacent. Well, I already got her. She ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? She understands my value. She know what I do. She know what I bring to the table. She ain't going nowhere. That's complacency, G. I'm talking to all the fellas out here. You can't treat your lady like the old wife. You got to treat her like the new girlfriend. Because guess what? The new girlfriend, you going the extra mile for. The new girlfriend, you putting your best foot forward. The new girlfriend, you looking good every time you pull up. You're smelling good, right? You should be, in fact, this should be cardinal rule. You should smell good enough to eat every day.
Oh,
you should
Lord.
Smell good enough to eat.
You are showing out.
Every day. You dig what I'm saying?
Out.
Because guess what? I bet you when you first bagged her, I bet you was smelling good. I bet you when you first started to court her and get her interested in you, I bet you was looking good. I bet you when you first started to date her and gain her interest, I bet you was charismatic. I bet you was smooth. You hit her with the good conversation. You was taking her out. You was treating her. So my whole point is you got to treat your lady like the new girlfriend, bro. Because guess what? Let's say you guys are in a relationship, right? And I say this to you often. If you guys are in a relationship and things don't work out, sometimes things just don't work out, right? So now you're officially back in the dating market. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to start hitting the gym. Man, I got to get right. I got to get back in shape. You're going to start dressing different. You're going to start smelling good. Because now you back on the prowl. You back on the market, right? And so for the next partner that you potentially meet, you're going to put your best foot forward with that person. But why does it take for you to lose something, for you to understand the value of it, to then go hard for the next person? If you really think about that, why do that, right? Don't you think it would be easier to put forth that same amount of effort that you would have done to something new towards something that you already got?
Okay, but
Pushin P. You dig what I'm saying? Pushin P out here. You gotta keep your lady interested. Go ahead.
okay, so I'm a realist. So let's talk. Let's be for real here. Let's I agree with what you're saying.
All right.
But let's put a little, reality on it, because the reality of it is marriage relationship, partnerships be hard.
For sure.
You know, especially when you have kids, especially
sure.
if you have multiple kids,
sure.
especially with your kids if they're into sports, or, you know, or if they're, even if there's like, even if you are dating and you have a child and your child is into sports and you're co-parenting, that's a whole thing right there. So being an individual and dealing with life, how do you keep that perspective of keep pushing P and not let life happen to you? And when you're in a relationship, realistically, how do we do it? How do we keep pushing P and being intentional about each other in a relationship? Because if I think about what you said, and I like what you said. You said that when you get, you know, don't treat your partner or don't treat your wife like your wife. You have this like mentality where you treat her like the new girl, because with the new girl, you go an extra mile. Just like with the new man. The new man, if you get a new man, you go an extra mile, ladies.
Show that.
You know, you gonna make sure your edges laid, your nails done, you smelling good, you know, everything right, everything tight. However, if you are in a relationship and you lose that focus, why? Why are you losing that focus? Because, you know, we believe, like you said, you believe that you're in your relationship to serve.
For sure that.
You know, I believe,
Cause I'm a king, right? I value myself and look at myself like a king. That's why my intro is Mr. King Energy himself. And those of you who know me personally, you know I'm always full of positive vibes. You know I'm always bigging people up. You know I'm always supporting people. Hey, what's up, Queen? Hey, what's up, King? I view myself in high regard. So the way that I view myself, I try to extend that same grace to others, right? And so if I'm talking about being a king, then I gotta live it, right? And for one, a king is what? A king is a leader, right? A king is a leader who takes care of his people. He makes sure that everybody around him is straight. He's not a tyrant, right? He's a servant leader. He serves the people. He makes sure that the people is good. And in his service, he ultimately ends up getting served, right? And I want to attach that to one other thing. I was talking to somebody, I had a conversation with somebody. Actually, it was in the group chat, right? And it was a meme, it was a video or something that was on Instagram. And I was talking to the fellas about it. And the conversation that we were having is just about how women have a tendency to be more reactive, right? So what I mean by that is the energy that you giving off and the effort that you putting in, a lot of times she's going to reciprocate that, right? So if you giving her sarcasm, if you're loud and belligerent, if you giving off this energy that's not conducive to the longevity of your relationship, guess what? She's gonna reciprocate that, because as the man and as the leader, guess what you're showing her? Oh, this is how we move. This is what we're doing. This is okay, right? So I believe, and you may disagree with me, I believe that as the man and as the leader, you got to set the tone. And that's not to say that she's not a leader, because we play off each other's strengths. But I believe that I have to set the tone for my household if I'm going to be the king, right? So there's another analogy that I use is that I'm committed to being the thermostat and not the thermometer, right? And if you ask yourself, what's the difference between a thermostat and a thermometer? The thermostat controls the temperature, right? So I believe I'm such a dynamic personality and I have such a dynamic spirit. I have the ability to impact change in any room that I walk in. So if I walk into a room that's cold, with the mentality that I have, if I'm the thermostat, okay, let's liven this thing up a little bit. You know, what's going on? What's up? What's up? What's up? You know, how's everybody day? What's popping? I'm gonna liven it up. I'm gonna turn up the energy. If I walk into a room that's where the temperature is too hot, you know, everybody is, you know, there's some tension in the room, somebody feeling frustration, or it's just a weird type of energy, okay, I'm gonna dial it down a little bit. I'm gonna calm the energy in the room. You know what I mean? That's the thermostat. He controls the temperature. The thermometer reacts to whatever the temperature is in the room. So if the temperature is hot, the thermometer is going to be hot. If the temperature is cold, the thermometer is going to be cold. So that's another nugget for y'all. Be the thermostat, not the thermometer. Lead by example, kings. I kind of had to get up on my soapbox for a minute, though. My bad. Okay, go ahead. What you got?
I forgot what I was saying because he just kept going and going. So
my bad. No, I'm passionate about this though. I feel like there's a lot of relationships out there that, you know what I mean? Oh, you was asking me a question. So you were asking me, once life happens and you got all these things, how do you remember to push P? Am I understanding that right? Was that the question you were getting towards?
no, I think for women, like when we're interested in something, when we're connected to something, we're gonna go that extra mile. So that's something to dig into and unpack. If you aren't pushing P for yourself, one, or if you're pushing P for yourself, but you're not pushing P in your relationship, you probably want to start asking yourself the questions of why, what's going on, why you don't feel connected to him anymore. For sure. Why don't you, why, yeah, it's not, you look good, lady. So it's nice to get attention and it's nice to get a compliment from someone else. But this person who you're connected to, who you say you love, who you say you're attracted to, why wouldn't you want to appease his eyesight? Why wouldn't you want to smell good and know that he loves the way you smell? Know that he loves when you walk in a room, how you look, how you walk, how you carry yourself. He admires how consistent you are in the gym. That you're a woman of integrity, you're a woman of your word, that you are you take care of yourself in a way and in a manner where it's pleasing to him. Why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want to look good for your partner? And it's the same for men. Why wouldn't you want to look good for your woman? Why wouldn't you want to smell good for your woman? So if you don't care, I feel like you might not be feeling connected to that person anymore. You might not care about that person anymore. Like something's happening that's creating a shift where now you're not too concerned with pushing P. Right.
And I think it would be helpful for us to unpack that a little bit. So if we unpack some of the reasons why you may not be feeling connected to that person, right? Sometimes there's people in relationships, either man or female, that aren't serving the relationship well. Maybe they're not carrying their weight. Maybe they're on bullshit, right? And they're not doing things that are respectable. So you don't look at them in the same way. Maybe as a man, I don't even really look at you the same way because of how you move and how you responding to stuff, or maybe your mouth is so crazy that I don't really care about pushing people with you because I don't even like you like that right now. And I feel like we all have those moments, right? As humans, we can all identify and we can all relate to that, because I know sometimes I may be doing things that make you frustrated with me and vice versa.
So what do you do in those situations?
The point I'm getting to is, when I started telling my story earlier, I kind of mentioned some of the homeboys that I have. Like, accountability is important. Surround yourself with people of high integrity, who can hold you accountable, and y'all can hold each other accountable. Because what do? When we frustrated or when we're going through something, 9 times out of 10, she's going to vent to her girls. He's going to vent to his guys. Man, what's going on, bro? What's popping at the crib? How's the family? How's the wife? Everybody good? Yeah. She tripping. Why, woo. She nagging. If I'm your real friend, I'm going to ask you those real questions. Me being your friend doesn't necessarily mean I'm just going to be a yes man and agree with you all the time. So I may challenge you in that way, not to be disrespectful, but okay, she nagging. What's she nagging about? And so I'm going to challenge you to really think about what she's saying, whether she's saying it verbally or whether she's saying it in her actions. If she's nagging about something, she's trying to get your attention for something, or a lot of times as men, we perceive nagging as something that's annoying, but really, if you really think about what is nagging, a lot of women will probably argue, and correct me if I'm wrong, that nagging is basically like, I've been trying to communicate something to you and you're not getting it. And I keep saying the same shit over and over, try to say it nice. I get frustrated with you, so then I click out on you. I might cuss you out. I'm saying it all different type of ways, and you're not receiving it. You're not getting it. So now I'm coming off like a nag because I'm saying the same shit over and over and over. So to you, you perceiving it as, oh, she nagging. As your friend, bruh, I'm going to challenge you. Like, yeah, I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna hold you accountable. But what is it that she's nagging about? What is she trying to get you to understand? And that's not to say that it's your fault.
But why?
But to challenge you to really look at the situation different. That's what I meant when I said glass half empty, glass half full. Okay. It's about how you look at the situation. So that's accountability, right? That kind of help check us in a way to get back on our shit, right? And I think I'm confident in the group of brothers and the brotherhood that I have to keep me accountable to that. What would you say? Would you agree with that?
With what part?
Just accountability as being something that's helpful to keeping you on your square in terms of pushing P, not getting too complacent.
Yeah, you need accountability. You need people. The smart thing is to vent up. You never want to vent down. So you need people that have a good moral compass, that have, high integrity to keep your integrity intact.
Big facts.
To check you on your integrity, basically.
Big facts.
So.
Big facts. What are some things that you believe that as a woman, women could do that would be classified as pushing P? You kind of named a couple of them, but give them couple more tools that maybe they can use. You said, kind of keeping themselves up, if they like makeup, put on makeup.
Just your self-care. And it's not about, it's not even all about the beauty things. It's not all about makeup all the time, which I do love makeup, but it's not all about makeup, jewelry. It's self-care. Whatever you deem as self-care and whatever you need, it's important in a relationship for both partners to maintain self-care for themselves. Carve out that time for yourself. If you need time to go to the gym, if you need time to just meditate yourself or pray yourself, like, it's important to have that self-care, and it's important to still keep in doing self-care, like do things that makes you feel good, that you like to do too.
I agree with that. And when you say that, you know what that makes me think about? It makes me think about the diagram with the two big circles that overlap. So this circle, this represents her. Mm-hmm. And in this circle, this represents me. And then in the middle, that little kind of moon crescent in the middle where we overlap, this is all the things that we have together. But I still have this circle, this half circle over here, which is me, pouring into myself and doing the things that I like to do, right? Self-care on that. She still has this half circle of her being her and doing the things that she likes to do. I think a lot of times in relationships, sometimes our circles overlap each other because it's like everything that we do is together. And I believe that can be unhealthy sometimes if you don't have a life outside of your situation. You were you before you got into the relationship or got into the marriage, right? And so this is why you hear so many people say, damn, I love it. You hear a lot of times you hear from women, but you hear from men too, like, damn, I lost myself in being a mom, or I lost myself in being a wife. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what I like. And it's because everything that you are, everything that you represent revolves around everybody else, and you're not pouring into yourself. So I think it's important to kind of remember that diagram where the circles overlap, y'all got everything that y'all do together in the middle, but y'all still have those half circles of you and pouring into you and doing the things that you like. Would you agree with that? So one thing that I was thinking about too, though, is that you were talking about the women and the new boo and the new man, and I feel like, why is it that it seems like women who move on to a different relationship, I've heard it like everything that the guy was trying to get her to do, she ends up doing it for that new guy, that new man in the new relationship. And so what do you say to people who are just kind of stuck in their ways, where they've just been the same way?
I don't think that it's the...
Do you believe that people can change and evolve?
I don't always think that it's the case that you were in one relationship and you weren't willing to do whatever it is that other person was trying to get you to do, and now you get in a new relationship and you're so willing to do it.
Right.
I think that I don't really fall into that hype or believe that. Some things, yeah, maybe, but I'm
Wait,
not.
are you saying it don't happen?
I'm not falling.
Because it definitely happens.
I'm not falling into that hype for that. Look at it from this perspective. That person who you was with, who was trying to get you to do all that stuff, and you weren't doing whatever you was doing, obviously there wasn't enough room in the relationship, or they weren't creating the space for you to do that. So is it possible that now that you're in another relationship with a different partner, that partner has created the space for you to be, and for you to be, serve him the way he wants to be served?
What?
Oh my God!
Yes, that's what I think.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
That's what I think.
So you're telling me that you're more willing to do the things that the last guy wanted you to do that you weren't doing because this new guy creates the space for you to do it? I don't necessarily agree with that.
No. Because a lot of times,
because off the rip, it feel like, and forgive me.
No. A lot of times in relationships, you lose. The reason that you lose yourself, and the reason that you're like the other partner, or the guy's like, oh my God, I'm trying to get her to do this and do that, and she's not trying to do it. But that's not really the case. Number one, a lot of times you're not clearly communicating what you want her to do. And you're not clearly communicating what you want her to do, because you don't even know what the hell you want her to do. You don't even know what you want to do. So she's so busy trying to affirm you and help you create the space to figure it out. She loses herself in the process. So that extra, I'm going to call it like litness that you want her to have, she can't even add that oomph in there because she's already tired. After affirming you, after creating the space for you to figure it out, and allow you to figure it out while you're on this new journey of figuring it out, she don't have any extra. So when she get with her new partner, he already, guess what? Got it figured out. He knows what he wants. He knows who he is. So he has the capacity to create the space for you to evolve into that other woman that you've been trying to be, or you wanted to explore. So now when you see her, you like, oh man, she wasn't like that with him.
So hold on, I got something to say about that, right?
The other partner wasn't pushing P, clearly. But this new partner, he pushing P. So that's why in your current relationship, you gotta have communication open. So both of y'all can push P.
For sure. But check this out, right? So for the people who are in a similar situation as us, like, we're high school sweethearts. We've been together for so long, right? That we have given each other the best of each other. I'm a man with a vision now, for sure. And I think, fellas, it definitely makes your woman it makes it easy on your woman to be submissive, or because I know she got to play on words. She don't really like that word submissive, and there's a lot of women who
It's not about submissive.
Hold on, let me get it out. So the point that I'm getting at is you got to have a vision, right? You definitely have to have a vision, and you have to move in a way that your lady views you as respectable, right? She's not gonna submit to a man that she don't respect. I don't care what you heard. I don't care what you've been told. I don't care what you think, right? So a lot of times, if you got an issue with your woman submitting to you, is either because you ain't got a vision, or she doesn't respect you in that way, or she don't believe that you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do. So let's get that out the way. I'm holding my bros accountable to that. Like, we definitely got to have a vision, right? But that takes time, right? So the point that I'm getting to is we've been together all these years since high school sweethearts. I've changed umpteen times, a lot. I'm not the same man now as I was at 17, right? So my vision became more clear. I've tried some things and then had to pivot and go a different direction and pivot again and go a different direction in order to grow. So you're saying, oh, you ain't got it figured out. You don't even know what you want. But now this new guy is pushing P. Damn it, I'm the reason why you know who you are. Because I can make a strong case for it. Because I've been...
Wait, what?
Let me get it out. All right? I'm trying to get it out. So I can make a case that I was with you throughout your growth process and you figuring out who you are as a woman, what you like, what you aspire to do and what you aspire to be, and supporting you through that, supporting you through the growing pains. And you can argue the same case for me. While I was with you, you had no money, you was broke, you was figuring it out, da-da-da-da-da, right? So me and you, hypothetically speaking, we don't work out. I've elevated myself to a certain place where you laid the foundation for the next woman to kind of reap the benefits of, because she's going to get the best parts of me.
Okay, that's kind of a different...
No, it's not.
Conversation.
It's not a different conversation, because you made this whole case like, well, you want pushing P, but clearly this new guy, he knows what he wants. He knows who he is, and blah, blah, blah.
But I'm speaking in terms of, what if that man that she was trying to help get a vision didn't have a vision? I'm not talking about being with your partner while they're trying to figure it out.
But some men don't have they're in transition where they're trying to figure their vision out.
No, let's be for real. Like,
so you saying she's supposed to just dip out?
No, that's not what I said.
Okay,
I
understand what you're saying.
I'm not talking about when you're in transition. I'm not talking about why you're trying to figure it out, because we all grow. We all will keep growing. God willing, I mean, that's the point. Each year you want to elevate. You learn something. You want to keep learning something new. What happens when you learn something new? You change. Right. So you have to still create the space for your partner to figure it out, to grow. I'm speaking in the terms of man or a woman who doesn't even know where to begin to know who she is, or a man who doesn't even know where to begin to get a vision, and he never seems to get a vision.
So
he's just pretty much complacent in everything.
What would you do? What are, like, if you're in a situation where you are in a relationship and have been with somebody who lack vision? So it's hard. It's hard for you to follow them.
But that's what I was saying. Like, you create that space for them. You try and affirm them. You try and, have those tough conversations with them, or have that conversation like, babe, what are you interested in? What are you trying to do? Like, that's what, facts. What's your passion? Trying to help him and support him in figuring it out. But then everybody has a breaking point, right? So
wait. Before you get to that breaking point, I definitely want to big that up. So I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I think what you just said is a major key, right? I think there's a lot of people, women and men, who they're very critical of their partners, right? And instead of being supportive and positive, they could come off as very negative, right? Instead of encouraging their partner to try to help help them figure it out, which is what you're suggesting, they kind of shit on them. And so it doesn't make me feel good, or it doesn't help me in any way if I'm trying to figure out a vision for myself and lead my family to a better place, be it spiritually, be it financially, be it socially. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. It doesn't help the situation if you're just shitting on it. And I'm not saying you per se, but I'm saying a woman who isn't encouraging. Like, I think that's very important, to be encouraging and helping him through that process instead of shitting on him. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So what would you say, or what is 3 takeaways to focus on that can help you keep pushing P?
So that's a good question.
Because we got to wrap this up.
So accountability is definitely one. And me personally, I'm just committed to serving my family and operating in my purpose, right? So I think it's important for you got to hold yourself accountable too. It's great to have a band of brothers or a band of friends that can help keep you accountable, but you have to prioritize it yourself. You have to commit yourself to it, right? Doing self-checks. If y'all get into a blowout, or y'all get into an argument, or there's a situation, sometimes you got to remove yourself from the situation and think back on it. Like, you know, what was this person trying to say? Did I miss the communication? Where's the breakdown in the communication at? So communication is definitely something that's important. We said accountability is something that's important. And a third key. Give me a third key.
So
communication is important. Accountability is important.
Self-awareness. Self-awareness is very important. Whether you're going to push P, you want to keep pushing P individually, and you want to keep pushing P in your relationship. Whatever energy that you have inside, it starts mental, it starts spiritually, it's physically. You have to be self-aware of who you are.
And self-confident.
So your self-confidence is going to come from self-awareness, because you're confident in who you are, you know, and that energy, you're gonna give off that energy in your relationship. And the relationship is not just a relationship with your partner or with, you know, your man or your husband or whatever. A relationship is whatever is flowing both ways. You know, you are in a parentship with your children. You know, that's a relationship. You want to keep pushing P as being a parent. So you have to figure out that energy. What type of energy are you giving off? You know what? Your kids are always watching you, whether you know it or not. Every little thing they pick up that you do and you don't do. Especially when you practice healthy conversation with your kids, they are going to hold you accountable for what they see you're not doing or what they see you are doing. So keep that in mind. So self-awareness it's very, very important. You want to be self-aware.
I would say commit yourself to something spiritual too. I think that's definitely very important. I'm definitely a man after God's own heart. I definitely try to live by God's principles. And I think that's something that definitely keeps me grounded, and keeps you grounded as well. So I definitely believe that having that spiritual connection is something that you can use as a tool to push P2.
It's a foundation.
For sure.
So.